In the picturesque town of Amber Hollow, the streets were lined with fiery red and golden leaves. Every fall, tourists flocked to see the maple trees that seemed to set the town ablaze. But this autumn was different. The air felt heavier, and whispers of an old legend began to resurface. At the heart of Amber Hollow was a secluded park with a wooden bench known as the Whispering Seat. Legend had it that anyone who left a heartfelt letter on the bench during the first frost of autumn would have their deepest wish granted, but at a cost. No one knew exactly what the cost was, only that it was never the same for anyone. 23-year-old Clara had grown up in Amber Hollow, but life had pulled her away to the city. This autumn, she returned to her childhood home to help her aging grandmother. While sorting through her grandmother's attic, Clara stumbled upon a stack of old yellowed letters tied with twine. Each one bore a single name, Eleanor. Curious, Clara opened one of the letters. It was dated exactly 50 years ago, during autumn, and spoke of heartbreak, lost opportunities, and an unfulfilled wish. The letter ended with a strange sentence. I left my heart on the Whispering Seat, but I never found it again. Clara couldn't shake the strange, melancholic words from her mind. She asked her grandmother about the letters, but the old woman grew pale and refused to speak of them. Instead, she muttered, "Some doors should stay closed, Clara." Defying her grandmother's warnings, Clara decided to visit the Whispering Seat. She hadn't been there since she was a child. The bench was just as she remembered, old, moss-covered, and creaking under the weight of years. But as she sat down, she noticed something unusual. A single envelope tucked beneath the seat. It was addressed to no one, but the ink was fresh. The letter read, "The autumn winds carry secrets, and the leaves remember. Will you?" Shaken, Clara decided to leave her own letter on the bench. She poured her heart into it, writing about her fears, regrets, and a secret wish she'd carried for years. To reconnect with her late mother, who had passed away when Clara was just a child. She left the letter on the bench and walked away, the crisp wind swirling around her. The next morning, Clara awoke to find the letter she had left on the bench sitting on her windowsill. But something was different. Her words had vanished, replaced by new ones. "Meet me at the park under the full moon." Clara was terrified but intrigued. That night, as the full moon bathed the park in silver light, she returned to the Whispering Seat. There, she found a man sitting on the bench. He was dressed in an old-fashioned coat, his face shadowed by a wide-brimmed hat. Despite the chill, he seemed unaffected by the cold. The man introduced himself as Elias, a keeper of wishes. He explained that every letter left on the Whispering Seat was read by the autumn winds, and he was their messenger. But wishes came at a price, and the bench was not as innocent as it seemed. Clara demanded to know what price her wish would carry, but Elias only smiled and said, "That's for you to discover. The question is, how much are you willing to lose to gain what you seek?" The next morning, Clara woke to a startling sight. Her room was filled with maple leaves, scattered as if blown in by a storm. On her desk sat a framed photograph of her and her mother, one she didn't recognize. In the photo, they were laughing together, but Clara had no memory of the moment. Over the next few days, more memories of her mother seemed to surface. Songs she used to sing, bedtime stories she used to tell. Clara felt an overwhelming sense of closeness to her mother, as if she had returned in spirit. But something was wrong. Clara's grandmother began to grow frail and forgetful, her sharp mind clouding over like a storm. The cost of Clara's wish was becoming clear. Her grandmother's memories were fading, transferred to Clara as part of the Whispering Seat's deal. Desperate to undo what had been done, Clara returned to the park to confront Elias. He told her that the only way to restore her grandmother's memories was to leave another letter on the bench, asking the winds to reverse the wish. But this too would come at a cost. Clara would lose the newfound memories of her mother. Heartbroken, Clara sat on the bench and wrote her final letter. She poured out her gratitude for the fleeting moments she'd been given, but begged to return her grandmother's memories. When she placed the letter on the bench, a gust of wind carried it away. The next morning, Clara woke to find her grandmother smiling. Her sharp wit and warmth returned. But the photograph of Clara and her mother had vanished, and the memories Clara had cherished were gone, leaving only a bittersweet ache in her heart.